Hey everyone, Alex and Gio from RaddTitan. So what we're doing today is we are going to look at the XM Studios Mysterio. We did actually film this one before, but someone deleted a file.
Technical issues.
Yeah, so we had to redo. We got to redo it. So here is the XM Studios review of Mysterio. Keep watching.
Peace. Yo, so welcome to Team RaddTitan, and as Alex was saying, today we're looking at my piece, which is the XM Studios Mysterio. Now, we'll go a little bit into the character, so, his real name's Quentin Beck. When was his first appearance out?
His first appearance was Amazing Spider-Man number 13.
So he's an OG now. Yeah, the character is one of the OG Sinister Six guys. He basically wanted to be in films and special effects in particular. That didn't go too well. Spider-Man basically fucked all his shit up when he was in the middle of probably robbing a bank, and then I think he blamed him ever since. And he's basically one of these mad special effects guys. He's master hand-to-hand combat, but really his skill is manipulating and playing with his opposition. Now, getting onto the piece, I think the best thing to do is...
We're doing history still.
We did it, that's it.
No, we've still got more.
Have you got more?
One of his best appearances for me personally, which I've got to bring up, and spoiler alert if you haven't read it, but fuck you, because you should have read it now in the last 10 years or whatever it's been. But his best appearance is probably in Old Man Logan, and it's quite dark.
Tell him what happened.
Basically what happens is throughout the whole of Old Man Logan, Wolverine's a bit of a pacifist. He gets fucked with by a lot of people, and you're reading the comic, you're like, why ain't he doing anything? Why ain't he defending himself?
Yeah.
He's just all taking a slap here and there. From I think it's like Hulk's kids or something, and then
shit kids.
He kind of goes into it, and then you kind of have a bit of a flashback halfway through, and you realise that Wolverine, the X-Men mansion got invaded by all of the villains, and what happens is then Wolverine goes berserk, kills all of them, and then he actually realises that it was all him being manipulated, and he actually killed the whole of the X-Men.
Yeah, he kills all of his friends and everybody else, but because of Mysterio mind fucking him, making him believe that was who he was fighting against, the enemy, which he's really good at. That's the type of thing that he's really good at. I mean, he's nearly killed Spider-Man numerous times by the same sort of manipulation. Really, we'll get on to the actual piece itself. Really nice piece. What was it, like last year? Maybe 2016?
It was last year. I mean, you've had it for a while.
I've had it for a while.
Again, it was on my editing list. And something
come up,
technical happened. We won't point fingers here.
Yeah, let's not do that.
But yeah, let's start
the base up. So let's go. The base has got like almost like an antique looking, what would you call that?
It's an oxidised kind of brassy material.
It's got this fantastic sort of,
patina.
Yeah, it's got this like eye situation going on all the way through it. Where they've got the eye, ever seeing eye going all the way around, and you've got this fantastic sort of oxidised part in the brass that actually matches on his boots and his gauntlets and everywhere else. Now, a lot of people have made the mistake in thinking that this is actually smoke. This isn't smoke. This isn't clouds. This is a poisonous gas. So there is sort of like a purple hue going through the entire piece. This is it's not translucent resin. But it's like it's partially, isn't it? It's like opaque in its colour, so it's a really nice effect. I really love the way this is done. I've seen lots of smoke effects, smoky effects, and this really is one of the better ones I've seen. A criticism that I will have is that you're quite lucky, because if you're displaying it sort of like that head on, you're okay. Yeah. But if you've got a size problem and you sort of go around this way, the joins here, I think they're just it's a little too smooth around where it joins in, because these pieces come out and stick in separately. And I think that the way that was done, I think this should be not as smooth. If they had a couple of little bubbles on it, like how it looks there, I think it'd be a little bit more seamless. But because this is smooth and this is, smooth on these edges, you can sort of see the lines a little bit better. But you understand what I mean. It's not as hidden as it could be.
Yeah.
Really nice touch though here. They've got like the rubber things to support the weight of the cape. The cape is super heavy, like crazy heavy, and it's got it going out where they actually do touch, and the cushion support and help so it doesn't scratch, which is a really nice touch, and it's very well executed on mine. It doesn't look out, like discoloured in any way. It looks great. So really happy with that. But that is a little criticism that you could say, especially there. I mean, that one especially is pretty. That, you see what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, that could be a lot better. And there are like going over it, I think overall it's done really well, but there are like just little marks as well. But it's a big area, and there's a lot of kind of that smoky look to it, and they need all these parts where they've got kind of all the supports and things like that. And I think they're done really well, especially as you were saying with the cape. I think it's done well.
Yeah, really nice. Then you get on to sort of like the boots. The way that the piece actually comes is a massive part of the base, and these two parts separately. Then the figure is one, and then these all come off, and the magnets are like super strong. And the great thing as well is they've got that lovely wedge inside it, so you can see there that it's keyed. Yeah, it's keyed. So you can't put them on the wrong way round or make him do some sort of cadness with his hand that way.
You mean like with what's it called? Moonlight.
You can turn them around the other way. So
you put it upside down.
Very clearly. I think that the way that the armour and stuff is done is really nice. I mean, you have to be aware as well when you buy an XM that they have a tendency to do this on a lot of their paint apps. So you should be warned if you want to see that there is like sort of brush marks in it. Do you see what I mean? They do that quite a bit on certainly metallic pieces. I don't know if they go in for it looking like it's not brand new or that it's scuffed or scratched. I don't know what the idea is.
They do on this, and they do on the on cable as well, the guns.
Yeah.
I can see why people won't like it though, because I mean it can look like it's hand painted on, and the paint's a little thin. It can look like that because the green's kind of coming through.
Yeah.
But I do think it's, as you say, I mean, where it's done as a way of making it look like it's weathered.
Yeah.
But I can see kind of both sides of it really when I'm looking at it. I can see that, but I can also see why people would kind of think it needs to be painted a bit better.
I have seen, I've seen a few of these like pictures and stuff, and some are a lot more obvious than others. I'm actually quite lucky. Mine is not so bad in some of the lines. I mean, especially across his belt and the top, especially really well done on mine.
And the gloves here. I'm not sure I like that look on him. I can see where it would work on cable because it's more of a silver with a black underneath, so it would be more of a scratched gun.
Yeah.
But with this one, I don't think it works as well.
You definitely, because the armour has this green sort of oxidised part coming through it, you almost feel like it's sort of green underneath, and they've gone over the top of it, and it's not been completely covered as a paint app. It's a hard one. It's definitely one of them ones that you should know before you get this piece and you get it in hand. That don't expect, if you expect it to be like solid gold or brass and then little bits of green in the decorations, these sort of wavy effects, then you'll be disappointed because that's not the case. There is definitely, you can see brush marks in a lot of the smooth areas, and I think it's intentional, but that doesn't mean that everyone's going to like it.
No, I don't know. I think it's intentional. I do think it's intentional because XM are the kind of company where they're not going to do something like that by mistake. Their QC is another level, so they're meant to do that. But
again, I quite like it because I think it looks more antique. Well, he's that type of character.
Well, he's he's made it by hand himself.
Yeah, it sort of looks like it's more sort of like that style, which I kind of like. There was actually a criticism, or at least at the beginning prototype level, which was the length of this forearm, because the guard is so long, it looks like his forearm is really long, but it isn't. No. In pictures, you may think so, but I can assure you that it's not. It's fine. It's that part of it is perfect.
And you've got his Wi-Fi signal all over him as well.
Yeah, definitely. Losing signal this bit. The great thing about it as well is I really love the body sculpt. I think it's an exceptional body sculpt on here. Certainly up the way that they've done the thighs. It's actually got this mesh, it's almost protective thing that's going around in the light green that breaks up the dark green panels. and he's got like almost a snake skin effect, or actually fish scale is closer, going all the way down. It's magnificent.
The body sculpt's really good.
It is lovely.
The torso's really well done.
Really nice.
Really well done there. That's probably, the body sculpt is probably one of the best parts on it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to spin around a little bit.
Yeah.
As I say, the green's a really nice green. It's kind of broken up by that kind of webbing.
Yeah.
You've got going through. Is that quite similar to the Electro, or not really? Or
no.
I need to see the Electro.
As in the, what do you mean?
He's also,
fish
Joe also he's got here, which I didn't notice the first time. If you look under the boots,
yeah,
he's got the kind of thruster parts coming out of the boots.
That is where the gas comes from.
Yeah. Which is where that's what I was about to say.
Thrusters though, thrusters
make him
fly.
Well,
and he does fly.
Yeah, but I'm sure we'd fly from that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So I mean, but you can see then from this boot where he's kind of showing the bottom of the boot, and also I mean on. Funny enough, when I was talking to someone from Sideshow, and they were showing me around the booth, and when they showed me the booth, we were bitching about, I think it was a couple of pieces, but one of them was Dark Phoenix, where there was no detailing on the bottom of the foot. And one of the things they pointed out to me was on the new Spider-Man line. The first thing they said to me was, look at the bottom of the foot. Yeah. And I was just like, funny, because we were working on silk.
Yeah, definitely.
So basically, they got the detailing all on the boot.
Yeah, it's not been half-assed.
And it's all nice. And you can see that on the other foot where
it's coming out.
That's
exactly it. It's coming out like that.
So it's really good.
That's exactly what's happening. The smoke is coming out of that boot and surrounding him, which is the gas, which is a poisonous gas. Is in one of his first meetings with Spider-Man, he actually gets caught in that gas and is unconscious, and he's could pretty much kill him at the time. Yeah. So it's a great touch and a great nod to the comic book there. The cape actually is quite an interesting one, because if you go back and you look at the back, you can see it's actually really smooth and there's not a lot of textures going on here, which is a bit of a shame, because I think it could have done with something to break up these big masses here, because they're quite big, they're quite bulbous and large. There is an outline that's going through, but my favourite part is the underside of the cape. Yeah, it's got like a tin. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly that. But you don't notice it till you have it in hand. I've seen a million pictures and you can't capture it. Yeah. You only sort of see it when you look at it with your eye, and it does look in certain lights like it's two-tone almost. It's really nice. It's just a shame that they didn't. I think this could have done with a little bit more texture.
I think they wanted to change, because they'd say if you look on this side, it's kind of like a matte. And then if you go inside, this is like, it's not quite gloss, but it's got a shine to it.
Yeah, it's sheen in it. Yeah, totally.
Two-tone. Yeah, I think that's what they were going for.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Agree. I mean, the head, as we're moving on to this sort of part now. Like I said, I'm quite lucky up here. This is the part that people actually complain about most with brushstroke wise. I think it's because it's the most in view and the most part you're looking at. You look at that magnificent head sculpt. Now this particular sculpt is from a Deviant Art, which I am unbelievably surprised that Marvel allowed this to go out. I can't believe that this happened, and I think this, in time, like the Gambit, the smoking portrait, you won't see another Mysterio like this. You won't see with the smoking skull underneath. It's from a Deviant Art, it's not from the comics, it's from another sort of eyes, and it's really, really
well, Deviant Art is basically where artists post their images, and it's like a kind of, it's up as a fan art site,
fan art, exactly.
You can buy prints and things on there.
Yeah, and it's really nice. Some people have got more clouding going on in that skull than the prototype suggests, and some have done okay. I actually have got incredibly lucky. Mine is really good. The one thing I'm going to say about this skull, and I've told every single person that is interested in this piece, depending on what light you use, that skull will look different. So if you put it under a white light, like these lights, it looks more cloudy.
Yeah, so this might not actually come out on the camera, to be honest.
It looks more cloudy under the white light. If you put it under a warm light, it's a bit better. And if you put it under daylight, it's the best. Yeah. It looks actually best with the daylight.
That's quite weird. Why? Because daylight's normally more of a white light.
No, it is. If you, whatever way you do it, I mean, I showed Gary when Gary was last here. I put it under the white lights of my cabinet, and he was like, "My God, it's like you can't see anything." Yeah. And then I put it under the warm lights of my front room, my bedroom, and he was like, "Yeah, that the room in there."
Oh, what was going on with Gary?
And then I showed him outside, like literally by the window, and it's amazing the different effects that the light has on it.
Showing Gary your helmet in your bedroom, eh?
That's it. I'm showing him my helmet. He loved it. Then what you have is you've got this fantastic. Well, now there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got this fantastic unmasked portrait. You actually get 3 heads with this piece. You get the print, but the other head, which is the comic accurate head, you know, it's just a cloud underneath, so there's nothing in there.
You get 2 like that, okay.
Yeah, so you get one that's got this, got the one that's got the flame, the smoking skull.
Yeah.
You've got one that's just got nothing and it's just smoke completely. And then you've got the unmasked of Quentin Beck himself, which this unmasked portrait is beautiful. It's really nice.
It's a bit tilted though. Skull's a bit like.
Yeah, it's to one side. No, it's the one. It's the one side. So he's sort of like because when you pose it, it's like that. So it's sort of like leaning to one side. The portrait there is really, really nice. It's clean as anything.
I actually saw the prototype of this, and it was done more like a. It looked like a burnt light bulb, and it actually looked really, really cool. The way that it was done originally. I think it was like literally just a thin like light bulb over the top.
Yeah, this is really thin.
But that just would have broken.
It would have broken, and because these are all hand done, the dusting inside, the blasting inside, they're all different. So if you get a good one, you're lucky. And I'm lucky because I've actually got a really good one. This head sculpt is really nice. This portrait, his 5 o'clock shadow is brilliant, even to the point where it's sculpted on. You can actually see its details on the beard itself. He's got beautiful piercing blue eyes, great highlights through the hair, and he's actually got a pretty good profile. I think he looks fantastic, this unmasked portrait.
I think it's a really good face. I mean, the blue eyes, really piercing blue eyes. Did you say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're right.
Yeah, I mean, really, really good blue eyes. It's painted very clean. I mean, considering like XM used to get a lot of bashing for their kind of human heads, this was done probably about a year ago, and this looks pretty good. I wouldn't floor that at all. The only problem is
you never use
it because you've got the skull head, and if you're lucky enough to get a very clean skull head, or even the clouded one, they're the ones that are probably going to get done.
Definitely.
And I don't very much doubt, unless you're like George used to be, where every 30 days on the day you used to change them all over. It's just unfortunate you probably wouldn't display it.
Yeah,
what would have been quite nice is to actually have one of these with this actual heading.
Yeah.
That would have been quite nice.
Yeah, it would have. Yeah, that would have been a good touch.
That would have been really good because then you would be able to see the actual head. Because again,
he does appear in certain comics like this, where there's no bulb, where it's just a collar.
No bulb.
It's just a collar. And this is a great comic that you can pick up. This is Web of Spider-Man. This is the Gauntlet series, so this is a variant cover, Mysterio version. I think this is quite a nice touch because it's got the old purple hue going on in there with the smoke, so it's a really good. It's quite an ominous cover. I quite like this.
The whole series is really nice.
Yeah, they are.
Really,
and this
really
is the print that you actually get. And it's actually really nice XM print as well. And there is where you've got the deviant art sort of.
Oh yeah.
See, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
You know, you can see there that he's got the gas. It's coming out of his hands, coming out of his feet, and then you've got that skull effect, which is just really, really nice. It's a lovely print, in fairness. It's not too dark. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Overall, I'm really happy with this piece. It's super heavy. We'll weigh it, sort of get them plugged in and go. Do you want to do it or want me to do it?
We'll do the scale. We'll do the scales. We'll do the tape measure first.
Right. Surprisingly, this is actually quite a big piece. The height of it is around 25 3/4 inches, so around 26 inches. That's about 66 centimeters tall. Okay, width-wise, it's a bit of an issue, this piece, so let's have a look. Have you got that? Can you line that up to that cape?
Yeah.
Because that's the widest part. So the width of this is around about 15.5 inches in width, and the depth of it, because it comes back quite a bit, I would say it's around about 13.5 inches in depth. So 13.5 inches, it's about 33, and then it's around about 39, 40 wide. So big. Here comes the fun part where I have to try and move it, right?
Would you prefer if we lift this up here? Would that be better for you?
No, it's alright, move away, it's fine. Ready?
We're zeroed.
We're zero.
Okay.
Yeah. Who squad power.
So this weighs 15.15 kilos, which is Good weight.
Yeah. £33.
That is £33.4.
Yeah. So it's about £1 less than Bane.
Yeah.
And actually, size-wise, there isn't much in it.
Mm.
It's pretty much on par.
It goes to show that, like, Sideshow are listening with the pieces.
Yeah, definitely.
The Sideshow pieces are lighter than XM, blah blah blah. People make quite a big deal about the weight. There is arguments for 2 and 4, and again, you know,
yeah, you cut with a piece like this, even on a glass shelf, you'd be terrified, wouldn't you? I mean, I have this on the bottom of my cabinet. I wouldn't put this on a glass shelf.
I wouldn't put this on a glass shelf. I mean, not in the detail anyway.
I wouldn't put it in any glass shelf. This to me is really like, because on its own it's 15 kilos. It's 2-3 pieces on its top, so it's pretty.
And it's quite a small base, so that is
central. That's the problem moving it too. Yeah.
No, I mean all the weight is.
Yeah, it's quite the bottom part of it, where all the weight sort of is channeling through, is quite narrow. It's not too big, so it's the pressure is like a high heel boot. It's not ideal, is it? Mm. But yeah, let us know what you think if you've got the piece, and you know, is it style over substance? Is it one of them pieces? It doesn't get enough character love because it's Mysterio. I mean, he isn't exactly the most dynamic of villains. I quite like him. But again, it's not like one of the OG sort of powerhouses, is he?
No.
He's OG.
That's the thing is, like, a lot of the original characters were never like super strong. They were normal people. Yeah. Where they had some kind of freak accident, and he just made him a little bit more than normal.
Yeah.
And nowadays, it's like everyone has to be cosmic and everyone has to be a god for them to be a hero or a villain.
That's a good point, actually. You make a good point.
Well, same like Spider-Man. I mean, Spider-Man is ridiculously strong. But you know, he was always just a person.
Yeah,
It was always a boy, wasn't he? He was like 15 or something.
Yeah, the baby. But let us know what you think anyway, and let us know if you have this piece and what flaws. You know, are we making a bit too much of a big deal about the antique sort of effect, the brush effect on it, or you know, do you agree? Is it one of them things you think could have been a bit cleaner? Thanks for joining us. Much love, peace, like, comment, subscribe, and share.
Yeah,
peace.
Sup?
Sup, motherfucker?
Sup, G? O? About a minute, I've got a cut off.
Good. Go do an intro.
Hey everyone, Alex and Gio back.
Yeah, that's
we ain't gone anywhere. We're back.
A bit sharp.
Mark.
Yeah, there probably is. Not from me though, I think that's from
No, it's like inside. Like there. No, you can't see it because you're behind here. It's like a thing inside there. Anyway. Or someone's coloured it in the marker pen just to piss you off.
Could be.
I don't know anything about that.
But
you actually see Hawkeye, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, but then I ended up taking this one instead. Yeah, great guy to deal with.
Which still makes it better. My mum used to make it about shit.
I remember, I've had that many times.
That's right. Fucking like mashed top on that.
Yeah.
Well, fucking like crusty.
Right, so I carry on where we were.
Actually mixes sawdust in it. Fucking cottage pie, motherfucker.